Very good morning. Today I am going to explain table layout in Android application. There are many layouts we can use in Android, but table layout is very simple. By using this, you can arrange child view in tabular form. It means intersection of row and column. Table layout also work with the table row, where the table row decide how many row you want to create in the table layout. Now you can see such design, and that design we can also make by using text view or button. It is basically depend on 5 attributes: stretch column, shrink column, collapse column. These 3 attributes used with the table layout, and last 2 column layout span, layout column used with the table row. And through these names you understand what is the purpose of these attributes. So now for learning, we start to develop application and we design the interface by using table layout. Now this is Android Studio. Here we develop interface. We work in XML file, designing the interface by using table layout. So we convert constant layout and table layout, and we don't need text view control. So now this is the blank screen. So now here we define table row, which contain width, we use wrap content, height, it also contain wrap content. So now through this table row, we can define one row by default at the top, and in this table row you can place some control like button. So now we use button, again width, layout height attributes, wrap content, and text property, text attribute, and this is the button 1. So now through you can see this interface, we place button 1 in the first row by using table layout. Same again using copy paste, we place second button, and this is the button 2, so it plays row wise. Now again if you place third button, now it automatically plays in first row. But if you want to place button in the second row, again we have to define table row control. So now again we use copy and paste, and now you can see in the interface it is second row and there are 3 buttons. So now name is 4, 5 and 6. So now you understand. So let's we use first 3 attributes of table layout. So first stretch column. Now this is the attribute. So you understand what happened. Now obviously each control start with the leftmost place of this layout, and the index value of the first button is 0. So now button 1 contain 0 index value, button 2 contain 1 index value. So now in stretch column, string column, we use index value. So if we use 0, 0 means button 1. So you can see. So stretch column is basically cover all unused space of the table layout. So if you don't use this 0, and if we use 1, so now you can see button 2 and 5. So now stretch column means the particular column. That particular column stretch and expand and occupy all unused space of the table layout. And same case, if we use index 2, so third button. So I hope you understand the meaning of stretch column. Okay, and if we don't use, so now you can see we are not using this stretch column. So by default it contain wrap content value. So these spaces are wastage. So now if we want to occupy these, if we want to use these space, now we can use stretch column. Now we add two more button in the first column. So now you can see button 1, 2, and then 3, then 4, 5. Okay, and in the second row button 6, 7, 8. So now you can see last button, button 5, it not basically visible in the screen because the width of that screen is basically doesn't contain 5 button. So now it is not fully visible in this screen. So if we want to fix last button, button 5 in this screen, now you can use shrink column, and now again it depends on the index value. What button you want to shrink in such a way whole buttons in the first row visible. So now we use 0. Now you can see. So now button 0 means first button, first column. So again that basically attributes perform at the particular column. So now if we want to shrink first column, so now you can see in first row and second row. If we use like index 1, second button, second column. But actually we want to shrink last button. So now 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So index 4. So now you can see what happened. Only last button is fully visible in this screen. And first 4 button is basically there no changes. So this is the use of the shrink column. So now it basically remove the that basically space, and through that particular control fully visible and that particular row. So now shrink column, I hope you understand. So you can see it is a reverse of the stretch column. Now next, so we don't need this code, and we remove button 5. And now let's we use next attribute, collapse column. Okay, so now collapse column, you understand here, like we use 2. So now you can see what happened. So again, that attribute also perform particular column. So collapse column means now button 1, button 2, and button 3, because collapse column 2 is the index for button 3. So that basically column is hide. So now if we use 0 index, so now you can see button 1 and button 6 both are hide. So that means that now if we are using multiple row in this table layout, so that particular column can be hide by using this attribute collapse column. Now this is the button 2 and button 7, and obviously it contain first index. So if we use index 1, so now button 1 and 6 is showing here, and button 2 and 7 are hide. So this is a very simple if we want to hide that particular column. So obviously these 3 properties are applicable whole the columns, and it used in the table layout. So now this is the third attribute, and last 2 attribute we can use with the table row. So now last 2 attribute means layout span and layout column. So what is the purpose of these 2 attributes? Let's see. Layout span, this is very simple. So now we want to use layout span with the button 4, not button 4, button 1 here, layout span. Now you can see the changes, what happened. Now we want to expand button 1, it will cover 2 button of second row, button 6 and button 7. So now we can use 2. Now you can see here. So button size of the button 1 is just equivalent to the 2 button of second row. I hope you understand. Now suppose if we use 3, now you can understand the size of button 1 is equal to the 3 button of second row, button 6, button 7 and button 8. So now you can see here. So layout span is very important. Through you can expand the size of the button, and that size is also equal to the next row of 2 button or 3 button. So that depend on the these value. So I hope you understand. Yeah. Now suppose if we don't want to be use this layout span in button 1, we want to use with the button 8. So now you understand what happened. Now if we use here, so you understand what happened. Now layout span we assign 3, but actually there is no button after the button 4. So it only cover 2 button. So now it's just equal to 2 value. It is equal to just 2 value. Why? Because there is no 5th button here. So now we add one more button after the button 4. Button 4 we add one more button like button 5. Button 5, and if we use layout span 3. So I hope you understand. So this is the very important property. And the last one, layout column. So now layout column, it is very simple. And what is the purpose of layout column? So now if we want to show button 8 below of the button 4. So now what we have to do? Layout column. Okay. So now we use 0, 1, 2. So if we use 2 value, it will not reflect because it has same position. But now if we want to shift button 8 and move button 8 and display just below button 4, so now we use layout column 3. Now you can see here. By default, the position of button 8 just below button 3 because this is the third button in second row. But suppose if we want to move the position, so we can use the layout column. So now layout column is the basically contain the index value where you want to visible that button. So obviously 0, 1, 2, 3. Now suppose if you want to display just below of button 5, last button. So now here we can give layout column value is 4. I hope you understand. Now if we want to remove this attribute here, and suppose we are using with button 6. So now we want to use with button 6 and we give index value 1. Now you see here. So obviously if button 6 is shifted at the 1 index, so next button 7 and 8 also shifted. Because default position of button 6 is 0 index, but we are using layout column 1, so it is shifted at the 1 index. So button 7 and 8 are also shifted. If we are using layout column 2, so now button 6 placed at the index 2 and button 7, 8 are also shifted. So I hope you understand these all attribute, and obviously these are very simple. Through you can make the design of the simple calculator where you can place digit, operators, and if you want to design interface like you have seen in the PPT, so now you can do here. We don't need in button 1, even we are not using button 2. So now we are using button 1, and here what attribute we have to use? Layout span. So now we want to cover 0, 1, 2. So now if we use 2 values, so first 2 button it covers, so we want to cover 3. So now you can see, and the second row, copy and paste. So now you can see such kind of the, and we want to place these whole buttons at the center. So now here we can use table row. So now table row, so what we have to do, margin left. So now margin left like 40 dp. Yes, so now we increase the value of like 60. Okay, yeah, now 70. So it placed at the center, and the same case with the second row, margin left. In the third row, I hope you understand. So now such interface we can design through text view, but here we are using the button. So I hope you understand how we can use these attributes through we can design interface by using table layout. I hope you understand. So now I repeat, 5 attributes, stretch column, through you can expand that particular control. Even we are using text view, edit text or button. Second, shrink column. So I hope you understand. If that particular control is basically going outside of the screen, so we can shrink. So it's completely visible on the screen. Third, collapse span. So now I think you understand by using, and these three attributes we apply in table layout, and it apply whole column. So we have to give the index value. So it applicable for whole column, first column, second column, whatever. And last two, layout span. So now you can understand, here we are using. So this is a very simple layout span, and last one is the layout column. So these are the 5 attributes. I hope you understand. Let's we see the output in the Android emulator.